We begin tonight with Chris Cillizza, journalist and senior advisor of the DGA Group. Good to see you, my friend. I keep reading and seeing from all of you analysts on Twitter that this is a big blow to Donald Trump. Losing Gaetz, Hegseth on the rocks. I just have to say, I think you are absolutely wrong.
Wait a minute. Don't include me in that group. I never said that Gaetz was a big blow to Donald Trump. Not at all. I mean, look, what I have said is in the past, losing your attorney general nominee after 8 days would be a blow. But I've said many times, Donald Trump defies the laws of political gravity. I have stopped predicting what will happen to Donald Trump based on what's happened to other politicians all the way back in 2016. I actually think there's, and you got at this a little, Leland, in the open. Like, I actually think there's a level of, dare I say, normalcy about the last 2 weeks, which is, this is kind of what happens. A president picks people, one or two of them historically, doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican president, doesn't make it. You know, the votes aren't there, and the president says, hey, time to go away. And the person goes away. I mean, Tom Daschle. I mean, there's, you know, it's happened to lots and lots of people.
Well, Bill Clinton went through, what, 3 attorney generals?
Yes.
Picks? Yeah.
Right. This whole Zoe Baird thing, right? I mean, this stuff does happen. I think we have a tendency, and you mentioned this, we have a tendency with Trump to always assume the extreme is true. And I think that the Gaetz thing failing is actually proof, at least a proof point. I don't know if it's conclusive proof, but a proof point that all of the worries that the Senate was going to capitulate. You talked about this. Senate's going to capitulate. Advice and consent is over. He's going to recess the Senate and appoint whoever he wants. This is exactly how the Senate works.
I'm going to sum this up for you. It's Friday night. All the hacks were wrong, and Leland was right in his monologue. Thank you very much. I'm glad you see things the same way, the same way I do. And look, Donald Trump, through all of this, seems to be back to having fun Trump. Here he was at Mar-a-Lago with an event for mothers of influencers. Take a listen. You don't often get Trump in a white polo and a white hat either, but look, he's doing this, and at the same, and then he does his thing with the dance and nominates Scott Bessent for Sec Treasury, who worked for the #1 boogeyman for Republicans, which is George Soros. There seems to be this alignment, right? And maybe we're seeing this with Donald Trump, the sort of progressive wing of the Democratic Party and the populist wing of the Republican Party. It's that Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump voter.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everyone thinks of political ideology as a line,
right?
You know, it's a circle, right? We know that. So the two ends are much closer to each other in a circle than they are in a line. Yeah, I think look, the kind of populist movement, I always say this to people, like Bernie Sanders is closer stylistically, not necessarily from a policy perspective, but stylistically closer to Donald Trump than he is to Kamala Harris. I mean, just from like the way that he approaches things. The elites are screwing us. They're not giving us what we deserve. That's a Trumpian message, a different messenger, but it's the same message. So yeah, I think that actually makes perfect sense. It's just we don't think of politics in the right way. We think of it as linear, and it's not.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.